Timta. Abdur kul Shaabu biwasamo shilpa timta. Anuki maku nubu yunat sagar. Maku shil atsikhataym shil yamasi nuwabiyanat. Wahaza kalun chassid yawum. Wahid Meya Arbedin Tassid. Greetings, I'm Chief Nanya Shaabu of the Atsikhataym Nation of Yamasee Moors, and this is 5-day comment number 149. This 5-day comment number 149 is brought to you thanks to Amy Shumer. I will explain why. Amy Shumer had appeared on The View back in April. And this was in the interview she had brought up that this was regarding a movie that she did, and talking about how the image that she was portraying didn't seem to be true.
You know, that it's a lot harder for other people, and I recognize that I am a Caucasian. Well, like,
Stop. Let's play that back again.
And I recognize that I am a Caucasian, well, that it's a lot harder for other people. And I recognize that I am a Caucasian, well, like, that it's a lot harder for other people. And I recognize that I am a Caucasian, well, like,
well, according to Races of Man, she is not a Caucasian. And she's intelligent enough to know not to use the word white, because white has a very negative tone. That's part of the psych ops that they're doing now. As you see here on the Races of Man, you see Caucasian with curly hair. That looks like a nigger to me. Now, before people get their feathers all ruffled, please keep in mind, Nega means the serpent beings, Negus, Ethiopian for king. So the phonetics is the same. It's a title of nobility. It is not an insult. So especially for you young children, don't take an insult to it. Overstand that's what that is. And that's why they don't want you to say it anymore, because if you say it, you start triggering your DNA and your kundalini energy to awaken from the sleep and the spell of ignorance that you're under. And as noted here, you see European. That's not correct. Why is that? Because when we go back here, for those of you that have never seen the definitions for new race and ethnicity categories, they were developed in 1997. And the thing with those is that you have the right to self-identify. This is what a lot of people miss. When we go back here, an individual's response to the race question is based upon self-identification. That means you can call yourself white. The Census Bureau does not tell individuals which boxes to mark or what heritage to write in. What is race? Right. This, again, in case anybody's wondering, this is U.S. Census Bureau. Canada, for example, makes up 80% of the Crow membership. Here, just let me put this in real quick so everybody can see this. So the 80% of the membership is, I think it's closer to 89 now. So the educational systems in Canada are very well aware of this race and ethnicity, this IPEDS. They're very aware of it. So under the U.S. Census, which also is following that, because just so I keep everybody, so you understand something, the U.S. Department of Education sanctions this. So this is global, because a Crow is global. Now, going back here, the U.S. Census explains an individual's response to the race question is based upon self-identification, so you can self-identify. Further, what is race? The data on race were derived from answers to the question on race that was asked of individuals in the United States. It is applicable in the countries mentioned because any of the countries that are members of a Crow are using this IPEDS as a definition for race. So the U.S. Office of Management and Budget and these data, because the Census Bureau collects the racial data in accordance with guidelines provided by the U.S. Office of Management and Budget, and these data are based on self-identification. So whatever you tell the U.S. OMB or the census or on an SF-181, that is what they're following, and it's based on self-identification. Further, in order for people to understand, they can change their race and ethnicity when they, especially for those that are Black, because there's no Black racial groups of Africa. You can't get me a Black intellectual on the planet to answer this question. So they all know they're supposed to be calling themselves white. Unfortunately, Professor Mustafa Hefni from Egypt is still stuck on stupid, because if he would overstand and he was a professor, he should have known about this. If he didn't, he should do it now. He's been fighting the US government for 20 years, and they're telling him from Egypt, you're classified white. North Africa, you are considered white. Why would you want to go to Black when Black has no standing at law and there's no such thing as a Black racial group of Africa? But for those of you listening for the first time who feel you're Black, go right ahead. I'll give you, my number is 587-712-0639. Call me if you can tell me a Black racial group of Africa. Keep in mind, Black has no standing at law on the planet. Continuing further. So when Amy Schumer was saying she is a Caucasian, that was to get away from saying the word white. But as we've already shown in the Races of Man, this is what the Caucasian is. For those who consider themselves original European is actually going to be this, the Nilotic Negro. And they were found in Ireland, they're found all over Europe. So the African has been all over the planet. This is where I get on universities, if they're so upset, and people who say they hate white privilege, then tell the people who are dark-skinned that they're actually white in commerce and that you are a leper. Now, what do I mean by that? We look on leper supremacy in Google. And click on it. Plus, we also have some other videos talking about leper supremacy, and we have the images as well. I'm going to go specifically. Oh, okay, we could go to the image. Yeah, let's go to the image. Yeah, let's go to the image on Google. Oh, no, because I can zoom this one. Yeah, let's do that. I'll zoom this one. See, this is what true education is about. Now, the reality is, and I'll put in a caveat because I know some people are going to say, well, what do you mean? It can't be that simple. It is that simple. However, there's cause and effect. The effect is this affects commerce on the planet, because commerce on the planet is dependent upon people who call themselves Black, African American, Afro-Caribbean, Afro-Latino. It is dependent upon them staying in a dead state. So now, it's not white supremacy, it's leper supremacy. And that's what Amy Schumer, when she said she's Caucasian, she's not a Caucasian. She's not a European. She's not even white. She's none of those three. Racism equals leper supremacy. Racism equals leper supremacy is the local, national, global, solar system, galaxy, matrix, 3D holographic, illusionary power system, construct and dynamic structured and maintained by lepers, albinos, albinism, genetically recessive beings who deliberately misidentify themselves as white. So I have to change this definition, because now that the scientists call light skin, they call pale skin a mutation, that needs to be amended, and I will change this as soon as possible. In the meantime, this will stand. So genetically recessive beings who deliberately misidentify themselves as white when they are in fact lepers, refer to definitions above and Holy Tablets, chapter 6, tablet 6, verse 277 to 278. In association with other non-planetary and interplanetary entities, whether consciously or subconsciously determined, which consists of patterns of perception, logic, symbol formation, thoughts, speech, action, spiritual, mental, temporal, energy, definition, code, language, tone, vibration, frequency, sound, light, resonance, motion, and emotional response as conducted simultaneously in all areas of people and commercial activity. Economics, education, commerce, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religions, military, industry, sports, science, medicine, sex, and war, for the ultimate purpose of leper misnomer white genetic survival, and to prevent leper misnomer white genetic annihilation on Tiamat Ta Zurukaya Kai. This is in Holy Tablets, chapter 6, tablet 6, verse 56. Holy Tablets, chapter 6, tablet 6, verse 277 to 280. Holy Tablets, chapter 6, tablet 6, verse 284 to 289. Holy Tablets, chapter 6, tablet 7, verse 37 to 38. Misnomer, planet Earth, 95% of the planet is water. A planet upon which the vast majority of Ethiopian, Tamaraean, Kushite, Melaninites, Nubians, Nuwabians people are misidentified as black, colored, Negro, misnomer, non-white, meaning that Ethiopian, Tamaraean, Kushite, Melaninites, Nubians, Nuwabians people have been and are deliberately misidentified as black, colored, Negro, misnomer, non-white by lepers, misnomer, white, when in fact, as per the U.S. Corporation Race and Ethnicity Identification Form, the SF-181, and the IPEDS, all Ethiopian, Tamaraean, Kushite, Melaninite, Nubians, Nuwabians people are in fact white, and all of the Ethiopian, Tamaraean, Kushite, Melaninites, Nubians, Nuwabians people misidentified as black, colored, Negro, misnomer, non-white, are genetically dominant in terms of skin coloration, melanin, compared to the genetic recessive lepers, misnomer, white people. And this is in Holy Tablets, chapter 6, tablet 6, verse 280. So this is what leper supremacy is. So all the people who say, oh, I got plenty of black friends, I got lots of black friends, tell your black friends that they're actually white and you are a leper and that you have Hansen's disease. If you can do that, then yeah, then we probably could get together. But if you're not going to tell them that, then you are basing your existence on suppressing them. And then that is leper supremacy. That is purposefully done to keep your friends, associates, etc. suppressed. It's not about equality. Never has been, actually, anyway. So now let's go to oldie English. This is what they're supposed to be teaching in these universities, and for some reason they seem to be omitting this. Okay, great. And so this is where it's important to know language and know the games that are happening in Babel. That's why English, for people who speak another language and have to learn English, it's confusing me because you have one word can mean 27 different things. So let's go to black, shall we? Black, adjective. This is from the Old English Dictionary. So this is the language, what we're speaking is modern English. This is the Old English, which predates the modern English. So you have to go to the origin to get the real meaning. Forget what everybody's using today. You got to go back to the source. And that is what will clear up the confusion happening now. People are being dumbed down in the colleges and the universities. How is it all these English majors haven't seen this? Black, adjective, bright, shining, glittering, flashing, pale, pallid, wan. This is what black means. So when you see lightning in the sky, that's black. Then when we go to another website, this is Modern English to Old English Dictionary. So what you see here is Old English to English. So what we call Modern English going into Old English. So the modern English, the word white, Old English, black. So when you go back to the source, you're going to get the real deal. So I have done all this for this 5A comment 149, so there should be no confusion anymore. Just want to make sure I hit all the tabs here so everybody's got, so we got that one, we got this one. Oh, Cheddar Man. All right, so the first modern Briton had dark to black skin. That lines perfectly right up with the Nilotic Negro. So this proves that the Africans who are going into Europe, and Europe is upset about the migration, if they got pale skin, they're the mutations. They're not even original. Stuff gets real now, don't it? And let's see, so we have that one. We've got Races of Man. Yes, again, in case any of you are wondering, you can pause this and you go find it. I'm not putting the links in. I used to do that. Now y'all can find it. It's right there on Google Images. This is a book from Races of Man, 1828. And this is what a Caucasian looks like. So modern English has it all wrong. They got to go back and fix everything. And we already know that's not what a European is. This is what the first European is. This is the original European, the original Nilotic Negro. This is what the original Briton looks like according to this reconstruction. So nobody that's original on the planet has pale skin. Pale skin is a mutation. This is science. This is high science. So, hey, don't hate the player, hate the game. So for those of you that want to change your status from black to white, get on our Indigenous Standing Process webinar. You can send an email to atsikhataym@gmail.com. That is atsikhataym@gmail.com. If you're having problems, call me directly. My phone number is 1-587-712-0639. Or you can also call 1-587-501-7262. Speak with the head of our administration, Sa-Auset, Tauwieret, and you'll get put on the list and you can get your race and ethnicity changed, because black has no standing on the planet. All the black law students know this, all the black judges know this, all the judges know this, all the legal firms know this, all the law enforcement agencies know this, all the anthropologicals know this, all the universities know this, they all know this, all the elites know this. Get white and get right, and it is our right to be white and indigenous. Abyud Gadur, Abyud Gadur, Abyud Gadur. White power, white power, white power.